What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. I want to talk on quite a lot of things in this video, one of which is how Lucid might be getting on another exchange, what that will look like for us as current Lucid investors. Outside of that, the amazing stats that recently came out validating that there is a massive demand out there for EVs. So I want to share that with you. And finally, everyone's favorite topic, Apple. So there's, surprisingly enough though, a good update in that regard. So I'm going to talk on all that fun stuff. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. With that, let's get right to it. So I'm going to kick it off with some stats. California announces almost 18% of all the cars bought so far in 2022 were electric. And I absolutely love to see stats like that. So despite the inflation and other BS that's been in the market for a while, and even more so technically in Q2, Q3, and so forth, there's still a massive demand for EVs. And I absolutely love that. What will that look like for Lucid? Hopefully a bump up in reservations. Previously, it was 37,000. We do have our upcoming earnings on the 8th, on which I do expect us to be around the 45,000 for reservations. So definitely something good out there, and I absolutely love this stats, like I said. So we are investing in the right market despite a little bit more volatility. But at the end of the day, I love today as well, because today is a very much green day, despite the broader market is very much red. So Lucid is really just giving the market the middle finger once again and doing what it wants. A very positive thing going forward. Secondly, listing. So when it comes down to stocks, sometimes they can be listed on multiple exchanges, which is very beneficial for the stock. And Saudi Arabia is looking to have cross-listing as far as international companies on their market. Again, that is going to be a very positive thing if Lucid does this. What would that look like? Well, ultimately, it wouldn't really affect anything that we do currently have as far as investors. What would be done though is they would be listed on this new exchange, issuing shares on that exchange, and obviously in turn having a lot more liquidity. So coming from us as far as investors and current investors, we definitely will benefit significantly. Especially as well though, it might avoid us from using that 8 billion shelf offering, because keep in mind though, on that 8 billion shelf offering, it does not mean that we have to use that. Of course, Shelly has said numerous times that we have enough cash up until 2023. So whether we do get liquidity by going on another exchange or using that 8 billion shelf offering, no matter what, we need some liquidity coming in 2023. So this actually is a little bit more of a twist, but very positive for Lucid in the bigger picture. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Of course, doing it this way though does add a little bit more scrutiny in some stages. So some people don't like, for instance, what we see with China, what is happening on the American exchanges that are kind of being boycotted in some regard. That potentially could happen if there is ever tensions between the States and Saudi Arabia, or at least continued tension. So definitely positives and negatives to that. But coming from an investor, adds liquidity is a good win-win for us. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then moving on from here, everyone's favorite topic is Apple. So I just wanted to share with you once again. So they do have roughly about 2 months. Apple did say in 2022, they're going to be announcing their partnership, whoever that might be with. And they do want to reiterate and say 2025 for the launch of their Apple Car or vehicle. And when it comes to it though, Apple and Lucid have always been a very good similar product. They always want very high quality products. So I think that's one thing that really stood out as far as a possible comparison between the two. The only thing that Apple really wanted as far as a possible partnership is someone who can produce a lot of vehicles. And unfortunately, that hasn't necessarily been Lucid, but lately we've been really ramping up on our production. So hopefully we do get to a stage where it might be very appealing to Apple. Of course, there's some positives and negatives to that. I did a whole video on this as far as what Apple is looking for and so forth. So let me know your thoughts on that. But there was a very good update that did come out, and it does look like Apple is heading to Saudi Arabia. So of course, that could lead to a little bit more of an interesting possible partnership, because keep in mind, Foxconn is also there, who does produce a lot of components for Apple. So when it comes down to a partnership, I think there's always been that underlying rumor about Foxconn, Lucid, and Apple having a tri-partnership, if you want to call it that, or it could just cut out the middleman and not include Foxconn. But So I think this just adds to the overall allure on exactly what might come from all of this, because I feel like this was coming out of absolutely left field, Apple coming to Saudi Arabia. So this is definitely going to be re-sparking a lot of that desire among Lucid investors who want that partnership to go through. So let me know your thoughts on that. Of course, like I say, these videos are for entertainment purposes only, so make sure you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. One thing as well I just wanted to share with you is some short interest, because there's been a lot of articles coming out about short interest and Lucid. And so I just want to give you an update on that. Short score as of right now is 87. Utilization is currently 100%, showing 100% of the available shares to short are currently out. And as far as short interest, so it started a little bit more of an abnormal day. Oddly enough, they were increasing their position first thing, but it does appear as of right now, they are decreasing 1.43 million shares. Still technically though 129.63 million shares being shorted. So by no means are they out of the water or anything. Still potentially could have a squeeze. And again, going back to that short score that I mentioned, which was 87, the higher the number, the higher the likelihood of a squeeze happening. So having a possible squeeze could be very much on the table, which also could possibly come from their upcoming Q3 earnings, because again, there's a lot of things that they could bring up, and more so Lucid isn't the most transparent company, so they could give us a lot of good positive surprises. As of right now, 21.88 is the live short interest as well. Cost to borrow average is 10.7. So overall, let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, and if you feel Lucid could potentially ever squeeze, let me know in the comments. But outside of this though, I'm just going to give you a quick update on some technicals. So as of right now, we are flirting with that 50-day moving average, and we've always really struggled with that. And personally, I think the last time we actually successfully got over that was around November, and then after that was around June. Outside of that, we have not been over that 50-day moving average. So that is a very pivotal point in the overall movement of Lucid. Stochastic though is currently at 77. So we do have that deviation still though. Black line above the red showing a nice bullish trend is wanting to kind of still develop from here, but we are currently at 77 though, so we are getting a little bit more overbought. And looking at momentum, number of retail investors are definitely maintaining themselves, which is a very positive thing. RSI is currently at 54, so technicals are looking very, very good. And like I already said, we are very much green on a very red day, so that's a very positive thing for us as investors. So if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe, always greatly appreciated. If you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.